I'll try to talk about this stuff with the CEO assassination and the perpetrator supposedly being caught over the next couple of days. And one of the reasons I held off on that story was just to see how far and how long it would take for the person did to get caught. Because I figured whenever you take out someone that high profile, they're going to take you as a threat seriously. But I thought it was interesting to kind of point out that I received. There's a lot of these job interviews. They tell you like the day before and night before, hey, don't forget tomorrow your interview is coming up with enter company name here. And I go and I look at my email and my phone as well because they send it both on the mobile and through email. It tells me, oh, you have a phone interview with this company for it's like 3 o'clock today. And it's so funny to think that this is the same business which has stood me up for interviews 3 times this year. And this same business that has stood me up for 3 times this year has stood me up both when I was supposed to go for an in-person interview, right, where you come into the business and you say, hey, look, my name is da da da. I applied for whatever position. And also for a phone interview where all they have to do is just call your number at a certain time of day. But even that is apparently too much. So when I applied for them now, and I didn't, the last time I applied for them had to have been at least 2 or 3 weeks ago, like roughly in that middle part of November, after I got stood up by that one place that had me come there at 7 a.m. or yeah, 8:30 a.m. interview, and then you sit around for a whole half hour, and they still don't even like talk to you. They just say the hiring manager forgot to be there, but if you give us your number, then we'll call you back. And of course, a whole month has passed, and you hear nothing back because it's all a bunch of lies. But it's just interesting to think that like if you have this interview and you get stood up for it, which is what I think will happen today, um, you're not going to be surprised. Like this is just what they do. Um, I just find it really comical that because they don't schedule this stuff like one day in advance, a few days in advance. This interview was scheduled, and this was the same thing with that first one that they stood me up to, the in person one. They schedule these things sometimes 3, 4 week, a whole month in advance, and then still don't make the deadline or when the day for it comes, they're just nowhere to be seen. And it's really weird because you think to yourself, if they have the resources to send me as a prospective employee a reminder, hey, your interview is tomorrow at this time or located here or it's on the phone or whatever, you would think they'd be able to set that for themselves so that whoever is the hiring manager would be able to go, okay, I have this many interviews for tomorrow or this many for the day after that, et cetera, et cetera. But you don't see it. It's just this extremely one-sided thing where they expect me to, I guess, try to keep the date while they don't. All of this in the pursuit of trying to get a job. And man, it does not. It just seems like there's no end in sight to this. I had another place that had sent me an email where they were talking about you can come to us on a weekday between this hour to that hour and ask to speak to this person or that person. And as I'm just sitting there reading that email, I'm thinking about again, like you drive over to these places, however much gas it costs to go over there, they don't care. And more often than not, when I drive to one of these places, they have stood me up this year. So I just can't justify bothering with that again. Like if I can't have an assurance that the person will be there, I don't really see the point in showing up to this stuff. Because like I said, it was either last Monday or Tuesday when I went for that interview at 11 in the morning, and they weren't. They were the person that was supposed to interview me was nowhere to be seen, in spite of them knowing 5 days in advance that I was supposed to be coming there. Um, and then I had another phone interview. It was like a Zoom interview with this shop owner that same day, and they told me, "Oh yeah, you'll know if you're hired next week." And then you hear nothing back because that's just what these bastards do. it's just becoming extremely draining to just keep going through this over and over and over again. So, like I said, I don't think I'm gonna even have this phone interview. They're probably gonna like stand me up again, except this time I won't be surprised, and I'll just keep looking for other stuff.